So we have two questions here. The first one is, either Bishop or Pastor Luther can answer. What is the advantage of joining the GMC rather than going independent? So there are those who, would prefer to, why would we join another denomination? It's a very valid question. Why don't we just be independent and let's just do things that way? So what would be the advantage, Bishop and Pastor Lou?
I have actually written a paper that is on the internet. If you want a copy of it, I can send it to you. The advantage of joining the Global Methodist Church is that there's a whole list of questions that each congregation has to answer. What is our doctrine? What do we believe about human sexuality? What do we believe about marriage? What do we believe about the gospel and how to interpret the Bible? All of these are questions. Some others are, where will you get your next pastor? If your church runs into trouble, who will help you? How will you be held accountable? If you join the GMC, then all of those questions are answered for you. Our book of Doctrines and Discipline sets out our teaching and our procedures. In our church, we believe in accountability, so that the pastors are accountable to the presiding elder. The presiding elder is accountable to the president of the conference. The president of the conference is accountable to me as your bishop. I am accountable to the Transitional Leadership Council. So that, in other words, we have a way of watching over each other and making sure that we are living out the Christian life to the highest level possible. Sometimes churches become independent, which means they think, well, we don't need to belong to other congregations. All of those questions I just mentioned, they have to answer for themselves. And I will tell you that in America, we have had some very large independent churches fall apart because they were controlled by their pastor. The pastor went off the deep end, and the church disappeared. And so I think belonging to a denomination is the best way to serve Christ. Now, I will tell you that some of us have had some less than good experiences with our previous denomination. We should remember that Methodism was not always like it's been the last 50 years. I want to be the kind of Methodism that it was in the 1890s, that was mission-focused, had as much initiative at the local level as possible, and yet was unified around common doctrine and mission. And so that's the kind of church that we're creating, is a different kind of denomination.
Well, to answer that, I am of the opinion that God is not yet done with Methodism.
Amen.
Amen? Can I hear an amen?
Amen.
God is not yet done with Methodism. Even though West said, I'm not afraid if the people called Methodists will cease to exist, he said. But that time has not yet come.
Wow, amen.
Because God is not yet done with Methodism. Somehow, with grace and providence, He has allowed Methodism to continue, because I believe God has a purpose for the people called Methodists. And if you believe that, therefore, it means that we continue redigging the wells, the same wells whereby the Methodist revival was born when it first started. And one of its main features is what we call connectionalism. But why are we connectional? The best way to answer that question is what Bishop said yesterday. We are organizing to beat the devil. To defeat the devil, you have to organize. and that's why we have organization. We have this organization. How can we best spread the gospel? We need to organize. And that's part of the DNA of Methodism. And so aside from accountability, which the bishop said, it's really for us to maximize our potentiality. Instead of being separate entities or separate independent churches, we will be able to mobilize better if we organize together as one unit. Amen? Mhm.
Amen. What awesome answer. Amen po ba? So, naintindihan na po natin. So, nothing against independent churches, but we just think it is more advantageous to be affiliated with like-minded churches. Like-hearted, tama ba? Like-hearted churches so that we can beat the devil. Because the devil is also organized, right? So we have to be more organized. Amen po ba?